Good morning. With me today is Gary DiBileo. He is the Democratic candidate for the County Controller position. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, Andrea.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Normally what I would do at this point in time is I do a brief bio of the candidate, but I'm really excited. We have a new facility this year. We have an online voter guide that you can access at vote411.org, and we've asked all of the candidates to answer a couple of questions and provide some basic bio information on our online site. So instead of doing an online or a bio now, we're going to direct you to vote411.org, and you can check out the information that's there. We're going to publish everything on October 22nd, so you'll have an opportunity to see it long before the election occurs. So Gary, we're going to move right into questions this morning. And the first question I have for you is, describe for everyone, what are the duties of the office that you're running for?
Well, the duties of the Office of County Controller, Andrea, are basically being responsible for the taxpayers' money and overseeing all of the spending and going through the auditing process of all the various departments within the county to make sure that taxpayer dollars are adequately spent and properly spent and accounted for. And also the bidding process is also very important within the County Controller's office, making sure that what is purchased by Lackawanna County is not overspent. And that's very important. So I think that in this economic environment with people struggling the way they are for money and jobs, in this political environment where we've had some corruption in our area, I think now more than ever it's very, very important that we account for every single dollar of the taxpayers' money.
Okay. What qualifies you to run for this office, and can you cite any, specific relevant experience, whether it's governmental, managerial, fiscal, whatever it is, from either government or from your personal life or your professional life? What makes you different from your opponent?
Well, I can tell you about myself. I have previous political experience in government. I have served 5.5 years with the Scranton School Board and watching over a large school board budget. 4 years as city councilman in Scranton, 2 years as vice president, 2 years as president, watching over a big budget there also. And in business, for over 25 years, I've operated the Gary DiBileo Agency, and we do insurance and we do financial. I personally do financial with other agents in the office, and a little bit of real estate. And with that experience, I think that qualifies me very well for this Office of County Controller. It gives me a good background to step right in and hit the ground running to get right at the duties at hand of the County Controller's office. I have a wonderful staff in my agency, which allows me the opportunity to work full-time for the taxpayers of Lackawanna County, and that will not interfere. So I think that's the reason I am qualified: my business background, my financial background, and my political background.
Okay, thank you. What's the appropriate role for the controller in the county's budget process? And should any changes be made to the current process the way that it works now?
Well, the county commissioners have the most say in the budget, but I would like to work very closely with the county commissioners in the budget process as much as I'm able to. I will offer any help I can. I think that, again, in this economic environment, the budget process is so important. We see what's happening now with the city of Scranton, and it's not pretty. We don't want that to happen with Lackawanna County. We want to set a good example. We want to show that elected officials could be responsible for their offices and work together in their offices for the betterment of the county, for the betterment of the citizens of Lackawanna County. And we don't want to have that disconnect that we see right now in the city of Scranton.
Okay. What role should the controller have in county tax reassessment, if any?
Well, again, it's going to be up to the commissioners for that. I will speak to them when that topic comes up. That's their responsibility for deciding to move forward on something like that or to investigate that. Obviously, everything should be investigated these days. If that's a better way to go, then I think that's something that should be explored. Because only until you explore something can you determine if something's the right way to go. But so I will try to work with the county commissioners in that respect, and all of the county row offices as best I can.
Okay. The next question. In consideration of the controller's responsibility to audit transactions, should cash be accepted as payment of fees or fines in county row offices?
I don't think so. I think that you're asking for trouble when cash is involved. Sooner or later, problems can pop up, and sometimes do pop up, unfortunately. So I don't think cash should be accepted. Now, in a situation where a resident, may not have any other way to pay, something's got to be done for that person. But I think it's with all eyes on that transaction. So I'm totally against any cash transactions at all. And when cash is involved, let's make sure that we have many, many eyes on that situation.
Are there improvements needed in this office, and what is your approach or plan to address them?
I think there's always room for improvement. No office is running, 100% efficiency. But with my management experience, and I do have a staff of 7 people in my agency, and we work well together. I'm so fortunate to have the people working with me. And I know that there's good people in the county controller's office. And I can tell you that I'll work with them the same way to maximize their output. And I know that I'll be able to get improvement out of their work capacity just through communication and working well together and making sure they have the resources at their fingertips that they need to do their job as well as they can.
Okay. How easily can the public, access financial information about the county? And how can the Controller's Office contribute to increased transparency and availability of the county's finances for the general public?
Well, an open door policy is always the best policy, and that's for information also. As a matter of fact, I happened to walk into the building where the county controller's office is located, and I happened to notice that the windows are all frosted. So I couldn't even look inside the office of the office that I may occupy after November 8th if I'm so fortunate. So one thing we may do for an open door policy is to remove some of the frost on the windows. But I think an open door policy is very important. I think being able to be open to the world as far as the financial aspect of county government is very important. And we'll try to make as much access to information and to county employees and to myself as certainly as best we can.
Okay. Do you believe this position should be an elected position or appointed by the county commissioners through a process of open competition? Why or why not?
Well, that's an interesting question. I think it should be elected. I'm glad it's elected right now, and I hope to be fortunate to be victorious. But I think that it's up to the people to decide to select the person that they wish to oversee that office. Because if county commissioners happen to be in office for a long time and the controller happens to be there for a long time, you don't want it going to somebody who the public doesn't agree with. So I think that giving the public that decision on who they want to operate that office is more important than having other people select that person. So I'm always open to, in this particular case, in all cases, electing the person by the people.
Okay. And my last question is also a governmental formation kind of question. Luzerne County recently, as you may know, changed its home rule charter and eliminated 8 elected officials, 3 commissioners, the recorder of deeds, the treasurer, clerk of courts, the coroner, and the sheriff. Lackawanna County's home rule charter was passed in 1976. Is it time for a Lackawanna County Home Rule Charter review? And would you recommend similar changes in our county government? Why or why not? What's your position on the formation of county government?
Well, again, that can be possibly something to explore, and obviously they're doing that now, and it's something that Lackawanna County may choose to decide to look into. I think that all of the county row offices all perform a very good job at what they do. For example, Ed Karpovich, the county treasurer, I'm very impressed with him and his work, and Mary Rinaldi and Linda Munley and Evie McNulty. I think they all do a great job at what they do. Whether those jobs, are not needed, I can't say, but perhaps it can be looked into like other counties, around the state and around the United States.
Okay. That's all the questions that we have for Gary today. Again, there's some additional questions that we've asked on vote411.org. But Gary, you've got 2 minutes for a closing statement.
Well, thanks. Once again, I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. I'm running for county controller. I would humbly ask for your vote on November the 8th. I will diligently and with fidelity watch over your taxpayer money, and that's something that I promise. If you trust me to give me your vote on November the 8th, I promise that I will do that. I'll watch over your tax dollars. I'll have an open door policy. I have a business and financial background that I think is needed for this position. I have management experience. Again, in this economic and political environment, I think it's very important that accountability be at the very top of the slate of things that need to be done. So I just again want to thank Andrea and everyone here at ECTV, and I would greatly appreciate a vote for Gary DiBileo on November the 8th, and thank you very much.
Thank you. That concludes our interview with Gary DiBileo.